So can you start by telling us your name and what you do?
My name is Benedikt. I work on the V8 team at Google and I build JavaScript engines.
And I understand that you gave a talk here at NodeConf EU. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, of course. The talk was about promises and async await, and specifically the performance improvements and the developer experience that we improved in the last 1.5 years.
So promises have been around in the language for a long time. We've had it in the spec for a while as well, but it's finally becoming native, and we're starting to get really widespread implementations in all the browsers and Node and things like that. Async await, of course, is quite a bit newer. Can you tell us about the current state of async await, and realistically, when do you think that developers can start using them without polyfills?
Well, okay, so promises have been added 2015 with the revision, and many developers are still using promise polyfills, so like Bluebird and libraries like those still have widespread use. So I think, at least on the web, we are still at the point where people are migrating to native promises instead of polyfilling them. On Node, I think nowadays, since it's fully supported as of Node 8, using async await should be the default by now. And with Node 10, you also got async iteration. So your streams code is going to look a lot better than before.
And so promises and async await bring a whole bunch of really useful new things to the language. What do you think is the most beneficial aspect of async await and promises?
I do think the most important aspect here is essentially developer experience. Because if you build async, or if you write async code and you need to deal with callbacks all the time, you introduce a lot of subtle bugs that are hard to trace. And even DevTools cannot really help you there, because DevTools usually doesn't have an understanding of the continuations, whereas by using promises, the engine has a natural understanding, or at least a chance to understand where you want to continue.
And so you were talking about the performance of promises and async await. Performance is a complicated topic in JavaScript, and can be difficult for a lot of developers to really tackle. If there's one piece of advice that you could give to every JavaScript developer to write more performant promises and async await code, what would that be?
I think the best advice is just stick to the native promise implementation. So don't polyfill, because just adding the polyfill, even if the browser already supports promises, usually means you ship a lot more code. And that can easily be 20K to 50K just because of that you don't need to ship.
And last question, here at NodeConf EU, this is kind of a bit of a unique conference. It's the premier Node.js conference in Europe, I think. What has your experience been at this conference so far?
NodeConf EU is always a bit like a family reunion of all the people working on Node Core, and a lot of people doing new things with Node that you haven't heard of before. I think cloud is very important in NodeConf. I think that changed in the last 2 years. And all of a sudden, cloud is the most important topic. But also, yeah, besides that, you really get to know a lot of new people all the time. So last year I was here, I met like half of the core contributors that I haven't met before. And this year I met new people that I haven't met before. And it's really nice to have a face to the GitHub handle or Twitter handle.
Thank you very much, Benedikt.
You're welcome. Thank you.